Laser sights enhance and maintain your accuracy in a time of crisis. Whether you're unbalanced, evading a threat, or engaging from behind cover, a laser sight aids in keeping you on target. Call 800-442-2406 or visit crimsontrace.com for a free copy of our laser training video, The Laser's Edge, and learn more about why Crimson Trace is making laser sights standard equipment.
Today on Tom Gresham's Gun Talk, Tom and the Gun Talk team are taking the day off to enjoy Memorial Day weekend with family and friends. So sit back and enjoy this Reloaded Gun Talk, featuring the truth about ballistic gel tests, survival tools and training, handgun and varmint hunting ammunition, and the unique world of Cowboy Fast Draw. And now, here's Tom.
All right, let's talk about guns because, well, this is Gun Talk, and I'm Tom Gresham, and I love to talk guns. Always kind of fun. People say, well, can you really talk about guns, for 3 hours? No. Talk about guns for 12 hours all the time. When you get up in the morning, just until you go to bed. I do stop talking when I go to sleep, I think. Glad you could be with us. If you'd like to join us, and we're going to be open lines for the first half hour here, so it's just you and me. Give me a call, 866-TALK-GUN, or just dial Tom Talk Gun. And we'll just kick it open. If something on your mind, it's open lines and open topic. So if something been bugging you or something you just want to share, by all means, give us a holler. We'll certainly do that. Interesting, I bought 2 guns this week. One is a used gun. One was slightly used. And one was a little bit more used. That's okay. I had mentioned and the reason I mentioned these, there's a reason behind this. It's kind of the diversity of guns, gun ownership, and what we like, what we do. And I often think it's kind of lost on the gun ban industry of what we do with our firearms. One gun was a shotgun. I mentioned it before. Found it online over at Brian Belinsky's place, fieldsportltd.com. And they have a section for left-handed guns, and I shoot long guns left-handed, shoot handguns right-handed. Yeah, I messed up. But they had a 28 gauge over and under that was kind of close to my measurements. I had Brian do my measurements for me before. We did a video on that. You can find it on YouTube, all about shotgun fitting. It's very interesting and very involved. But yeah, you check our YouTube videos for Gun Talk, you'll find it there. And this was a Fausti round action over and under, 28 gauge, very nice. And he said, well, look, it's close, but we'll have our stock guy bend it and do what he needs to do and get it right for you. So I picked it up on Friday. Yeah, it had to go from Michigan to here to a gun store to go do the background check, paperwork, all that. So just in case somebody gets upset about buying guns on the internet. Yeah, FBI background check still involved. Okay. Haven't had a chance to get out to the range with it, but it feels good. When I shoulder it, it looks, I'm looking right down the barrel, so I'm excited about that. Now, this is a 28 gauge, small gauge. Doves, quail, maybe chucker, sure. You know what? And sometimes pheasants, if I have the right loads. There are a lot of good loads. 28 gauge tends to punch above its weight. It really shoots like a good 20 gauge. It hits well. It's a ballistically efficient load. Now, the other gun I bought, talk about your differences, is, we get all these guns in to do TV with, and we test them, and we do stuff with them, and then we send them all back. Well, almost all of them. Every once in a while we get one in, and I'm going, okay, I think I might not send this one back. That's what happened this time. This is the Springfield Armory XDM in 10 millimeter. This is the 4.5-inch barrel. We had both, the 5 1/4, 5.25, and the 4.5. The 4.5, a little bit shorter barrel, of course, but also fixed sights, a little bit more rugged, I'm thinking maybe perhaps. So what's this all about? Well, one answer, bears. I'm thinking that 15+1 of 10 millimeter with good loads is a really good bear solution. Or wolf, or mountain lion. I'm not really a fan necessarily of the 10 millimeter for two-legged predators, although it certainly work. It's just a little bit more recoil than I would care to have. But especially when I'm walking around the mountains out west, I like to have a bear gun. It's kind of simple as that. So I bought it. I just, I said, all right, guys, if we don't send this one back, what's it going to cost me? Yes, okay, fine, here's the check. So, interesting. 2 different guns, a sub-gauge, a 28 gauge, over and under, delightful wing shooting gun. The other, a semi-automatic pistol in a near magnum caliber. And yet all this, I'm sure, is lost on the gun ban lobby. Case in point, Eric Swalwell. You may not have heard of him. He is a congressman from California. He's running for president. He's one of the hundreds on the Democratic side who've declared that they're running for president. Eric Swalwell, he tweets this week, keep your Second Amendment rights. Keep your shotguns. Keep your pistols. Keep your rifles. I just want to take the most dangerous weapons out of the hands of the most dangerous people. Really? Not understanding that, of course, he wants to ban millions of guns. He wants to place a gun ban on millions of people. At the same time, he says, well, you can keep your Second Amendment rights. You keep your shotguns, your pistols, your rifles. Well, I'm just going to take away the ones that I want. The ones I don't like, the ones that I am personally afraid of. Because if you really wanted to take away the most dangerous weapons, it wouldn't be semi-automatic rifles. It wouldn't be the so-called assault weapons. More people are actually killed, more people are murdered with fists and feet than they are with semi-automatic rifles. Actually, than they are with rifles. All rifles combined. That's not my stat. It's not the NRA stat. That's the FBI saying that. What are you going to do about that, Congressman Swalwell? More people killed with fists and feet than with the guns that you want to confiscate, the guns you want to ban. Oh, that's just being silly. You people, you gun people, you're crazy. And then we have, I love this story, gun control candidate charged with shooting her campaign treasurer. Kelly Collins, a former congressional candidate in Georgia's 10th District, was charged with the murder of her former campaign treasurer. The allegations of murder follow Collins' advocacy for responsible gun control laws during her campaign. She had argued for stricter legislation to, quote, protect the community. Well, maybe if she's locked up, her community will be protected just a smidge. So what are you buying? Anything? You looking at anything? We are in the time now. The snow has melted. The grass is popping up. It is a fabulous time. The skies are clear. It's time to go shooting. It's time to go to the range. It's time to take people out there, enjoy the wonderful lifelong shooting sports. I'm watching the Masters this week on TV and thinking, it's a lifetime sport. I'm thinking, yeah, but you know what? So is shooting. You can start at 6. You can go to 96. Or beyond if you want to. So what are you doing these days? How about, let me know what kind of shooting you're going to be doing this year. Action pistol, IDPA, shotgun, trap skeet, sporting clays. What is on your shooting agenda and what kind of guns? You know you're looking at some. You know you're shopping. You know you're thinking about it. What do you think about buying? 866 Talk Gun.
When you want the highest quality ammunition, look to HSM. Since 1968, hunters and shooters have counted on HSM Ammunition. From the Pro Pistol Hunter Big Bore Handgun Hunting Line featuring premium jacketed Sierra bullets, the Varmint line with more than 60 load choices, including those hard-to-find cartridges, or the new Tipping Point rifle cartridges, loaded with Sierra Game Changer bullets, HSM has exactly what you need. Find the store or online retailer at hsmammunition.com.
The new FN 509 midsize 9mm pistol is now part of FN's legendary concealed carry lineup, and it is a natural fit. With its smaller grip frame modeled after the battle-proven million rounds tested FN 509, the FN 509 midsize comes with two 15-round magazines and naturally improves concealability. Available at your local firearms dealer. FN, the world's most battle-proven firearms.
Since 1937, Ducks Unlimited has led the charge on wetlands and waterfowl conservation. Wetlands reduce the effects of flooding and recharge our drinking water, but perhaps most importantly, they allow us to experience what makes the outdoors so great. Band together to rescue our wetlands.
For more than 70 years, Timney Triggers has been enhancing the shooter's experience. Whether it's a local competition, a day at the range, or even the hunt of a lifetime. Setting the standard in aftermarket triggers, Timney is now producing more than 170 models of triggers for bolt-action rifles, shotguns, AR rifles, and semi-automatic rifles. Proudly made in the USA since 1946. Find your new trigger at timneytriggers.com.
Tactical professionals who put their lives on the line every day depend on Surefire. Since 1979, Surefire has designed, machined, and assembled the finest flashlights and weapon-mounted lights right here in the U.S. From everyday carry flashlights with 1200 lumens and mil-spec hard anodized finishes to the most reliable weapon lights on the market for duty use or your home defense firearm, Surefire has what you need. American built, American strong. Visit surefire.com.
Alrighty, back with you. 866 Talk Gun. That'll get you in here. Ray's with Ryan. I can't do this. It's Ryan from Ray. I was going to do Ray from Ryan. That's not going to work. Hey, Ryan, how you doing, man?
Good. I just had a question. This year I hit the triple digits in my collection, and I'm just thinking of another way to keep track of these and organize them, maybe on the computer or with an app. If you use an app or somebody, or you had a recommendation of other than a physical logbook.
Okay, let me back up. We can address your question, but I have a question for you. Why? Why do you want to keep track of them? You know where they are. I'm just curious. I'm not making fun of you, really. I'm just curious.
Well, just in case if something happened to me or something. I mean, just so my spouse would have a collection and know what they are. And
okay, that makes sense. Yeah, I get that. It reminds me of that old joke where the guy says, if I die, I sure hope my wife doesn't sell my guns for what I told her I paid for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if an app would be safe, putting all that information on the app, would that even be a safe thing to do?
There is that. Okay.
Especially when you get into the triple digits.
And what we're talking about is he now owns more than 100 guns. And it's funny because people have asked me, say, how many guns do you own? And I always tell them, I don't know, or, more than I need and not as many as I want. The truth of it is it's none of your business, which is actually the real answer, but I don't want to be rude about it.
Yeah.
But it is not at all unusual for, a lot of people I know that own more than 100 guns. People go, well, what's that for? I don't know. I have guns that I like that I don't shoot, but I like owning them, and I realize it's been years and years since I shot them, but that's okay because I think they're cool and I like owning them. So there's that. And I might go shoot them next week. You never know. I kind of think you have a point in terms of the security of your information. If you were to, for instance, store it on a thumb drive where it's not online somewhere, and you could use any kind of spreadsheet, Excel or database program or something like that, and simply store the information on a thumb drive that goes into a safe deposit box, or in an envelope that says, this is where my guns are, and this is what they are, and this is the information on them. That would be one thing. Obviously, just a spiral-bound notebook written log works well, too. But if you want it to be searchable, then you probably do need it to be in some kind of online, not necessarily online, but a computer-based database or spreadsheet or something. I don't do that because I'm lazy, and it would require effort to sit there and go through every single one of them and record the serial numbers. And I mean, it would be smart, frankly, to record the serial numbers, record the information about them, take pictures of them, if for no other reason, honestly, than insurance. If the house burns down, and by the way, you want this record off-site. You want the record in your safe deposit box or someplace off-site.
Yeah. And the other thing is to order, you got all your shotguns together. Well, you do it on a physical logbook. Well, you fill up all those spots, and now you buy another shotgun, and you got to go with the rifles or something. So,
well, the other thing is you could, if you wanted to, I'm not saying it'd be a good thing to do, but you could always refer to it when you're looking at a gun to find out. You say, I really like this gun, and then you look and you go, oh, wait, I already own one of those.
Yeah.
Not that that's ever happened to anyone before, of course.
Oh, no.
Of course not. Tell you what, Ryan, if you would just keep listening, I'm going to ask people, how do you keep track of your guns? Do you use a database, online, Excel spreadsheet? Is there an app that you use, that kind of thing? I'm curious. And, Ryan, we'll see if we can get you some more information, okay? You just keep hanging in there and keep listening. Thank you, sir. Line 5, Jill's with us out of Richmond, Virginia. Jill, you're on Gun Talk.
Yes, I happen not to have a gun, but I understand the usage of them. But the thing about it, what I'm calling in is about this anti-self-defense mentality of some people.
Okay.
This notion, this lying fantasy world they live in, where no one ever needs to defend himself, and their self-flattery and their mislabeling their proposals as responsible and common sense. It's contemptible and ridiculous.
Jill, where do you think that comes from? How do you think people get to a position of saying no one should defend themselves?
Well, it's just the type of mentality that has occurred. It might be part of a certain religious mentality of turn the other cheek. I'm not certain about that, but they want people to be helpless. It's the same mentality that goes like this. It's not necessarily religious mentality. It's just the mentality of statism. They don't want anyone to be in control of his own life.
There's something else going on here too. Let me throw this out for your consideration. I think that some people don't want others to have guns to protect themselves because it forces them to think about the fact that they are actually not safe. They would like to pretend they're safe. They like that fantasy bubble of everything is great, everything is fine. But the moment you start talking about real self-defense, then they realize that they're just fooling themselves, and now they are uncomfortable because they have created this fantasy world where all is well, and they don't like that feeling of being uncomfortable. So rather than learn self-defense or take up self-defense or be responsible for their own safety, they say, no, I will get rid of the thing that makes me uncomfortable. That is, I will get rid of people who are actually taking care of themselves.
That is, remove the symptom and not the cause. Yeah, I think that, you may very well be right. And another thing my father told me one time, a gun is an equalizer. He said that it puts the physically weak person on the same level with the person who's physically strong.
Yeah, exactly. So do you have a gun for self-defense?
No, in my circumstances, it's not practical for me to have a gun. I had one once, but it was stolen from me, but I think that was in 1995. The thing about it, I'm living in a building now where we are not allowed to have such things.
I see. Yeah.
And even if I weren't, even before that, there were just too many places where I wasn't allowed to take him. Certain places, certain jobs I had, I wasn't allowed to keep him there. I might need him in between the house and the job. Well, too bad. And things like that. And
it's a personal choice. It's not for everyone. And I never say that everybody should do it. It's something that you kind of have to figure out for yourself. Jill, look, I appreciate your call, and thank you so much. And there's this anti-self-defense mentality. It is interesting to listen to it. You'll hear people say, have you ever heard anybody say, well, the police have guns. We have the police, so you don't need a gun. We have the police, so you don't need a gun for self-defense. That's not your job. And I would ask them, well, if you're working with that kind of thought process, then are you saying that we shouldn't have fire extinguishers because we have a fire department? If you ever get a chance, throw that one out, but be prepared for this kind of long, drawn-out, stunned silence while they look at you, kind of the head tilts over to the side. You'll either get, well, I never thought of that, but that's much less likely than, well, that's different. The whole, well, that's different is actually code for, oh, dadgummit, you caught me, and now I look like a fool. Yes, you do. As a matter of fact, you do. The very idea that police, if we have the police, you don't need to protect yourself. That would be fine if you had a police officer stand next to your elbow at all times. Anything short of that doesn't get the job done. One of the things I learned from this class I took a couple of weeks ago at Gunsight, stuff happens fast. The other thing, and Joe mentioned equalizer. Let me just mention this, because there are people who say, yeah, well, you know, a gun is an equalizer because women are smaller and they are not as strong and all. Whoa, back up. They're an equalizer for men, too. People who are in prison, which is college, or supermax prisons, which is graduate school, train all the time. They work out all the time. They learn, they have hundreds of hours, thousands of hours to work on how to disarm someone, how to disarm a police officer, how to shank someone, how do you stick someone with a knife. There are 7 areas that are lethal strikes with a knife, and they know how to do that. They work on it. They work on it over and over again. They come out hard as nails. They come out strong. And I don't care who you are. They're strong, and they're fast, and they're committed, and they are merciless. And they will kill you. And they will have no worries about that any more than stepping on a bug. It just doesn't mean anything to them. So the equalizer aspect applies to everyone. It doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman or how big you are or how small you are. It's a real deal, and it makes a difference. And yeah, of course, the gun is not all you need. You need training, you know how to use it. And if you haven't had that, it may work for you, or it may not. When we come back, let's talk about shooting fast the old-fashioned way.
Good morning, Mr. Gresham. Your mission, should you decide to accept it, is to host a radio show that will bring truth and common sense to the discussion of firearms rights in this country. Good luck, Tom, to you and your Tom Gresham's Gun Talk team.
Welcome back to Tom Gresham's Gun Talk. You're listening to a reloaded Gun Talk.
You remember the court case that's now being appealed in California, where the judge ruled that their ban on standard capacity magazines, magazines that hold more than 10 rounds, was unconstitutional. It violated the Second Amendment. And for a week, there was a period when Californians could once again, after 20 years, buy standard capacity magazines. Now, that has been shut down again while it's being appealed to the Ninth Circuit. But during this 1 week period, people bought more than, we don't know how many, more than 1 million magazines, though. But this story out of Sacramento, I love this quote, "Everything was all sold out. I basically took whatever I could," said Chris Pusey, who owns Foothill Ammo in Shingle Springs, east of Sacramento. He says, "People loved it. It was like we were out of prison and were not treated like bastard stepchildren of the country anymore." He said 30-round magazines, anything selling for $30 and less, they disappeared. He said they wanted to grab more than I let them. Otherwise, they would have been gone even faster than a few hours. We'll keep you posted as this case moves forward. A lot of other cases going on, some big wins for the Second Amendment this past week. We'll have all that information as we go forward. But first, I talk about different kinds of shooting and how diverse the shooting sports are and all these different things we could do, trap, skeet, sporting clays, IDPA, USPSA. It just goes on and on and on. People are forever creating fun things to do with firearms. Well, here's another one. We are joined right now by Eilrich, I think it is. He's going to correct me. Known as Quick Cal. Hey, Cal, welcome, and help me with your last name, please.
Hey, I pronounce it Eilrich.
Eilrich. Okay, good deal.
Yes,
but basically, people call you Quick Cal.
Yes, sir. In the shooting sports, they do. I started competitive shooting in 1968 in the sport of fast draw, which actually started in the 1950s.
Okay, so this is not, and let's just get this straight, I guess, right off the bat. Mm-hmm. This is not SAS. This is not the Single Action Shooting Society. This is fast draw, right?
That is correct. We kind of consider SAS our cousin.
Okay, so explain the difference, because I know people are thinking, oh, yeah, I know those guys, and I'm thinking, well, maybe you do, but maybe you don't.
Well, you know, the sport of fast draw actually started in the 1950s because television westerns ruled the airwaves. You know, I mean, it's just, and so there was actually about 100,000 fast draw shooters starting in the mid-50s. A fellow by the name of D. Willem, he was a stuntman at Knott's Berry Farm, was robbing trains. He created the first timer. Had it set up. Suddenly, Hollywood celebrities started to get involved, like Hugh O'Brien and Sammy Davis Jr. and all these people.
Was it Thel Reed? Was Thel Reed one of those guys?
He was. Thel Reed was actually the national champion in 1956. Wow. It was held in Tombstone, Arizona, and he got on. He got to be quite a celebrity. And of course, Thel went on. He was one of the first guys in the Southwest Pistol League for IPSC.
Right.
Which I also have a long history on. But,
okay, so explain the difference. In SAS, you're shooting, you're hitting targets, but in quick draw, you're shooting just for speed. Is that correct?
Right. What we did is not exactly.
Okay.
The sport of fast draw progressed all through the 60s and 70s, and it became all about speed. They started highly modifying their guns. They went with bucket-booted holsters and was all about shooting as fast as possible with a 6-gun. Mm-hmm. Well, Cowboy Fast Draw was formed in 2002, and we have to use period guns, period holsters, and we shoot wax bullets at a pretty hard-to-hit target on the draw at 15 feet with a wax bullet powered by a shotgun primer mainly, and we actually put powder in them in our main contest.
Okay, so let me see if I understand. You're actually so you have to be fast, but you also have to be accurate enough to hit something.
Absolutely. It's a 17-inch plate at 15 feet, which may seem big, but when you're shooting, to be competitive, if you can hit that target in about a half of a second with a high hit ratio, you're going to be very competitive and will place high. Now, some of our top shooters, they shoot around 0.4 of a second or less. We call it shooting in the threes. And if you can hit that target consistently in the threes, you're going to be generally near or in the finals of any match.
Does that include reaction times? They're working off a timer?
It does. In fact, what we do, now your first question was, how do we compare with SAS?
Yes.
Okay. SAS, you shoot 2 pistols, a lever-action rifle, and either a 1897 pump or a double-barrel shotgun, something I was heavily involved in for many years. I love the sport. Great sport. But you shoot all live ammunition at steel plates.
Right.
You get a 5-second miss penalty. Now, Cowboy Fast Draw is we stand on the line with an opponent. We never point guns at one another. Each of us have our target 15 feet down range, and the command shooter on the line shooter of the set is given, and that light will come on between 2 and 5 seconds, which is a 3-second span. You cannot second guess that, and 3 seconds is an eternity in our game.
Yes. When you're waiting for it to go and you're ready, you're getting twitchy there.
Oh, you sure are. And so when those lights come on, first shooter to hit their shot wins the shot, of course.
I see.
Light will come back on, blinking, indicating the winner.
Right.
And so once you win 3 shots and about, you win that round. The winner goes on. The loser gets an X.
So it's a ladder system. It's a man-on-man shooting in a ladder system then.
Well, sort of like that. It ends that way, but in the beginning of our World Championship is held in our host city, Fallon, Nevada. Each year, it's called the Fastest Gun Alive. And we have about 300 competitors show up from all over this country and others. We've had them here from Australia. We currently have members coming over from Switzerland, France.
What? All right, let me ask you a couple of quick questions because I'm going to run out of time. You mentioned period guns. Do they have to be old guns or just be of that style?
Reproductions of guns that existed in the 1800s.
Gotcha. Okay,
and,
so a new single-action Army, would something like a Ruger Vaquero work?
We specifically specifically allow Ruger Vaqueros, even though it's not an actual true reproduction for our firearms experts out there, but we specifically allow Ruger Vaqueros, only certain models of them, though.
Okay. And then for folks who say, this sounds cool, I really like the idea of it, what's the best way for them to kind of find out more about it, maybe get involved?
You can find out a lot about us on our website, which is cowboyfastdraw.com.
Okay, cowboyfastdraw.com. You have to have period clothing?
Yes, period clothing or Western style. You get into period, and it's, there's a lot of people around the world thinks that people actually dress like Roy Rogers, and they did. And so we allow people to flare it up a little bit, as long as it's within the spirit of our game, which is not only just the period, but Hollywood Westerns.
Are you limited to particular calibers?
Yes, only 45 long Colt. Oh. Period, because we supply the ammunition for our major matches, and we want because thousandths of a second mean a whole lot in our sport, and so we want to keep the ammunition completely the same for everyone.
Gotcha. You can't have faster ammo because you could actually get to the target faster. But the other thing is now you're controlling the safety aspect of it as to what goes in the guns, too.
We are. And our motto is safety first, fun second, competition third. We have a great youth training safety program, and we're finding a lot of adults need to go through that because safety training is not being handed down like it used to.
Yeah, I know. And a lot of people say, I've been shooting all my life. Say, yes, I know, but we need to have a talk. Exactly. I understand.
Yes, sir.
Hey, Cal, thank you so much. This is very cool. Cowboyfastdraw.com. Sounds like a great game with an interesting history and kind of one of those things that people can get into. One other quick question. Is there an age limit?
We start kids out as young as 8 years old. A third of our shooters are ladies and youth shooters. So it's a real family sport. About 5,800 members, 80 clubs coast to coast.
Perfect. So Cowboy Fast Draw Association. And that's Quick Cal. Thank you, Cal. Take care.
Hey, it's been a pleasure, Tom.
Absolutely. 866-TALK-GUN. Have you ever done any kind of speed shooting competition? Anything? What did you think of it? Did you stay with it? Why did you get into it? Love to know. 866-TALK-GUN.
For 25 years, Crimson Trace has led the industry in laser and light technology and customer service. Now, Crimson Trace is proud to offer electronic sights and rifle scopes for tactical, target, and hunting applications, with the same Crimson Trace offer of free batteries for life on all products. The new rifle scope line is also backed by an unconditional lifetime warranty from the brand that you have trusted for over 2 decades. Find out more at crimsontrace.com.
Tired of searching the web for the best deals on guns, ammunition, and gear? Download the free Gun Dealio app today for deals and discounts right at your fingertips. Handguns, rifles, shotguns, ammo, optics, lasers, gun safes, targets, gun cleaners, grips, slings, and much, much more. Save money on products you want from the companies you love. New deals, discounts, and rebates added daily. Gun Dealio, available for free in the App Store and Google Play.
For 36 years, the U.S. Sportsmen's Alliance has been fighting to protect hunting, fishing, and trapping for sportsmen from coast to coast. Today, we are under constant attack from extremist animal rights groups who want to end your ability to hunt in the U.S. Join us to protect our sporting heritage and our way of life outdoors. To join or for more information on how you can help, go to ussportsman.org. That's ussportsman.org.
Designed to be the ultimate choice in concealed carry pistols, Kimber's striker-fired Evo SP features an innovative grip system that eliminates hardware on the grip surface, a magazine release for right or left-handed shooters, all-metal construction for reduced muzzle rise, and ledged night sights for single-hand manipulations. Kimber's Evo SP is the ideal choice for shooters that demand a feature-packed, compact-sized striker-fired firearm. Find your Kimber at www.kimberamerica.com.
866-TALK-GUN. Get you in here. Email comes in. Let's see. From Carlos. Says, I can't stress enough the comfort and clothing options you can use with a good belly band system like the Crossbreed Modular Belly Band. It's infinitely and easily adjustable for cant, height, and position around the body. Let's see. Independent, he likes it that's independent from outer garments. That makes it easy to shed clothing as the day warms up. That makes sense. I like that. It makes visits to the restroom uneventful because it can stay in place since it is not connected to your pants. Interesting idea. Yep, okay. He's got some other things he likes, but the belly band system, Crossbreed has them, other people have them. It's, if you've not seen it, think about it as a wide strip of elastic band, if you will, that goes around your belly and Velcros in place. And it has not little, but they have pockets and slots and things where you could put a gun, you could put magazines in there, and your shirt goes over it. And it could be a jogging shirt, it could be a golf shirt, it could be whatever. Particularly good, I think, depending on the mode of dress, for women. And, you can go with smaller guns. If you say, well, my full-size gun won't go in there. Okay, cool. No worries. Go with a smaller gun. One of the reasons, by the way, people say, well, why do you have more than one gun for self-protection? Well, it's like asking a golfer, why do you have 14 clubs? Well, for different situations. If I'm wearing a suit, or if I'm carrying and I'm wearing shorts, I might need to wear different gun. If a woman is carrying and she's wearing different types of clothing, she may want a bigger gun sometimes, and may be necessary. It may be necessary to have a smaller gun. Now you may say, well, small guns. Well, I know, I get it. Okay, small guns are still better than no gun. And yeah, smaller guns are harder to shoot well, and smaller guns generally come in smaller calibers. But when stuff starts happening, and your choice is either a small gun or no gun, the big gun that's back in the safe at home is really not doing you any help here. It's just not going to help you out. Speaking of all that, I see here that Sig Sauer Academy up in New Hampshire is adding a woman-only concealed carry course. Now, this is interesting because I've seen woman-only shooting classes. But this is the women's concealed carry class, but it's going to be put together with an all-female instructor lineup. It says it's designed to help women better carry for self-defense. It's going to cover all areas of concealed carry. Attendees can expect to receive instruction on choosing the perfect everyday carry gun, dressing for concealed carry, and how body mechanics impact carry. Let's see. This would be Scott Reddy, the Director of Training for 6 Hour Academy, says, with more and more women choosing to conceal carry, we've seen an increased interest at the Academy for courses specifically tailored to females. That is fascinating. Now, like I say, I've seen a lot of female-only classes, but not specifically concealed carry classes for women. And that taught by women, because it's the same, but it's different. The basics are the same, self-defense, using a gun and all that, but there are a lot of parts of it that are actually different, like, how do you carry? Where do you carry? What do you do if you're got to carry in a purse? How do you dress? What do you do? And there are, I'm sure, other things that I can't think of because, I'm not a woman, and I don't know what those issues are. And I'm not a female shooting instructor, and I haven't thought through that. Speaking of, I had a thought earlier today. I was thinking about shooting instruction and all the really good instructors I've had and how they think of things we don't think of. It's like mounting a shotgun. If you move your right hand up, if you're shooting right-handed, faster than your left hand up, the barrel will dip down. Okay? Simple as that. The barrel goes down as you raise your rear hand up. So anyway, just this food for thought out there. It's just these guys are thinking of things like that. All right, 866-TALK-GUN. What do we have here, Jim?
Welcome back to Tom Gresham's Gun Talk. You're listening to a reloaded Gun Talk.
See, Federal has added, 6.5 Creedmoor and 6.5 Grendel unprimed brass to its line of premium brass. So that's pretty interesting. Also, Federal is announcing, new Syntech defense ammo. So these are defensive loads using that Syntech technology that they have. A lot of things going on, a lot of things cooking. I was spending the next week shooting the new season of Guns and Gear television. We're going to have some of the folks from Springfield Armory in, some of the folks from SIG in, some of the other gun makers get to play with all the cool stuff. Yeah, no, it's terrible, but we have to do it. So I do it so you don't have to. I'm just taking a hit for you. There you go. Line 5, Kat's with us out of Central Point, Oregon. Hi, Kat, you're on Gun Talk. What's up?
Hi, Kat. Hi, you, Tom.
Yes.
Well, I'm working right now. I do construction, and I'm in a house alone that I'm working on, and I have a gun. And
what kind of, when you say you work construction, what do you do?
I flip houses. I remodel, and
Okay.
I have a crew. And on the weekends, I usually, I run every day when I'm doing a house. I work every single day, so they're not here right now. And so I carry my little gun. And, listening to your show this morning, I'm reminded of a memory I'd like to share with you.
Sure.
When I was about 16 years old, my dad and my brothers had a lot of guns, and I wasn't at all interested in guns. Like a lot of people that I'm hearing talking to you, I don't particularly have any interest in doing anything with them, but I think I have an inherent right for self-defense. And I was just thinking about a time when I was about 16 years old, and I was sitting at our dining room table doing my homework. And I was sitting there, and my nightgown was late at night, and I was working on a report. And all of a sudden, I heard my father's voice, and he said, "What the hell are you doing out there?" And the voice that came next sounded like it was in the same room with me.
Ooh.
And the next thing, I heard my dad coming down the hallway, and he had his .22, and he had heard a sound when he was in the bathroom. And, he'd been sleeping, and he heard a sound, and he said he just stuck his .22 out the window at this guy who was peering through the open curtain, slightly open curtain at me in my nightgown. And I'll never forget that. And that was the day that it really, we had no crime in Southern Oregon in those days. That was back in the 60s.
Mm-hmm.
And, I've never forgotten that. And, a gun to me is just part of who I am now. And I just think it's remarkable that liberals right now, the ones who are allowing our borders or wanting our borders to be completely open so that we have MS-13 and the cartels from Mexico and Central America and all of that, they're just letting them in.
I understand, but you've decided to take care of your own. That's the thing. You can't take care of the world, but you can take care of you. And you're out there. I can hear you're in an empty house by yourself on a Sunday, and you're working, and there's nobody there. And it would take the police a long time to get there, assuming you could even call them. But if somebody were to jump you, you wouldn't be able to get to your phone. Kat, I just want to say thank you for sharing the story, for sharing your viewpoint. And thank you for taking care of yourself. Keep telling people, look, women need to take responsibility for their own safety. I apologize, I got to run to the break here, but I thank you. Keep checking your six. Lock those doors whenever you can. Keep that gun with you. And, by the way, go get some training and then retrain. Once a year, go take another self-defense shooting class. It makes a huge difference. It is, just having it's not enough. Knowing how to use it's a big deal. But, when had that thing happen when you're 16, it stuck with you. Yeah, it will. 866-TALK-GUN is the magic number. If you'd like to be on Gun Talk, call me. I'm Tom Gresham.